If you guys had any questions about the last couple with Dr. Howie, she's out sick today, so you can send an email to one of us and she'll get back to you. But today we're going to talk about diet, health, and well-being. I think, well-being is an issue we probably are thinking about or it's on our mind. We're in, month 5 or 6 of social distancing, so I think it could be weighing on some people. I know, for instance, my well-being varies from day to day. So today we're going to talk about diet, health, and well-being, and what are some recommendations to help during social distancing and COVID-19. So I'll go ahead and share. I'm sharing my screen. Make this big. Let me minimize. Oops. The objectives for today are to define well-being, understand the impact of social distancing on well-being, understand how well-being is measured, understand how nutrition is linked to well-being, and specific nutrients and foods that are also linked to well-being. So I did mute my camera because I'm from home to help with bandwidth, and I apologize in advance if you hear my 6-year-old running in the background. So my figure didn't show up. So how do we define well-being? Well, well-being is the presence of positive emotions and mood, the absence of negative emotions like depression and anxiety, satisfaction with life, and fulfillment and positive functioning. This is all taken from the CDC's website, and Angela made a really nice fact sheet, but for some reason the figure is not showing up on these shared slides. But we'll make sure it's there when we share the slides on our website. So well-being, there should be an image of all these different aspects intertwining for well-being, but it includes our physical well-being. So are we moving? Are we exercising? How do we feel physically? Economics, so more about our finances. Maybe it has to do with our employment status, our access to food. Social well-being, so are we feeling isolated right now? What is our social network like? Development and activity, emotional well-being, psychological well-being, life satisfaction, domain-specific satisfaction, and engaging in activities and work. And I would say these can all be influenced by diet and nutrition. So why do we care about well-being? Well, it integrates our mental health, so our mind, and our physical health, our body, resulting in more holistic approaches to disease prevention and health promotion. And a positive outcome that's meaningful for people and for many sectors of society, because it tells us how people are perceiving that their lives are going. So usually these are well-being is a subjective measurement. I'll talk a little bit about how it's measured in a few slides. But that's just like how we're feeling. It may not be what our blood work says we should be feeling. And when we measure and track or promote well-being, this can be really useful for people involved in disease prevention and health promotion. And for those of you who did take the Exercises Medicine survey or pre-assessment, you may recall that there are several questions related to sort of health and well-being. So we know our well-being is associated with many health, job, family, and economically related benefits. And higher levels of well-being are associated with decreased risk of disease, illness, and injury. People who perceive themselves to have better well-being have better immune function. They tend to recover faster from illness or injury, and they tend to live longer. And they tend to be more productive at work and are more likely to go out and contribute to the community. So how does this relate to health promotion? So when we talk about health promotion, it's the process of enabling people to increase control over and to improve their health. So I think a lot of extension activities are health promotion related activities. And when we talk about health promotion activities, we really design these to strengthen our individual, environmental, and social resources so that we can ultimately have like a healthier and happier life. So when we talk about health in terms of well-being, it's more than just the absence of disease or being ill. It allows people to realize their aspirations, satisfy their needs, and cope with the environment in order to live a long, productive, and fruitful life. health enables social, economic, and personal development fundamental to well-being. And environmental and social resources for our health can include peace, economic security, a stable ecosystem, and safe housing. And individual resources for health can include how physically active are we, a healthy or healthful diet, our social network, resiliency, positive emotions, and autonomy. So you can notice in this list here with health promotion that a lot of these things may be impacting people negatively during COVID-19. So it looks like my figures just decided they don't want to make an appearance today. So on the right, there was supposed to be a checklist example of one of these surveys that measures well-being called the Quality of Life Survey. Because it's subjective, it is typically measured with self-reports, so it tends to be surveys or questionnaires. So I have the link to this example on the web page here, but also the Center for Disease Control has a really nice definition of well-being and also links to the tools used to assess well-being. So we know that eating well, so this means a balanced diet with rich in fruits and vegetables and other nutrients may be associated with feelings of well-being. And more science is coming out about the link between diet, health, and well-being. So in 2014, there was one study that found that high levels of well-being were reported by people who ate more fruit and more vegetables. And then another study found that people who selected foods meeting their daily nutritional needs helped improve overall health and a healthy lifestyle. And it also helped reduce depression, anxiety, and other stress-related disorders. And then some studies by Johns Hopkins and also out of Harvard have shown that actually our gut microbiome, which I think we'll talk about in one of the other lessons, may send signals to your brain that also impacts your mood, your thinking skills or cognitive ability, and your memory. So again, the figure is missing here, but this was a study out of Australia. And what they looked at is number of servings of fruits and vegetables people consumed each day, and how they rank themselves for well-being and happiness. And they found that the more servings of fruits and vegetables a person ate, the higher their score for well-being and happiness was. And this may be in part due to fruits and vegetables, but they're eating an overall healthier diet. And people who do eat more fruits and vegetables tend to be more physically active. So it could just be a combination of things, but it is shown that eating a nutritious diet is linked to more happiness and well-being. So how do we manage our mood with food? So we should really focus on eating regularly, staying hydrated, like looking after our gut or our microbiome, managing caffeine intake, eating enough fruits and vegetables, getting protein, and eating the right fats. And I'm going to show this video here. Hopefully it works. That does a nice job explaining these. So what's really interesting is that the UK and Australia, their government health websites have a lot of information on food, health, and well-being. So this is taken from one of the UK health websites.
Food and mood. 8 ways to get you thinking about how your food affects your mood. 1. Eat regularly. If your blood sugar drops, it can make you feel tired, irritable, or depressed. Eating regularly will keep your sugar levels steady. Try food that releases energy slowly.
Are you all able to see this? It said my sharing was paused. I think I have.
I don't think we can see the video screen. We're still just seeing your slides.
Okay, maybe if I, oops. Can you still see my screen?
Yep, but we're still seeing your PowerPoint slides.
Oh, you know what? I think I have to pick a new screen. So I won't show this. The link is in the video. I don't want to screw it up.
I can also put the link to that video for everyone in the chat right now.
Okay. It's a really nice video and everything always sounds better in a British accent. Okay, so well-being during COVID-19. So, you know, COVID-19, it's an evolving process, but we do know a lot of people, especially in areas that are highly impacted, that have been social distancing for a long time, are seeing increases of poor health and poor mental health. So we know that stress during this pandemic can lead to fear and worry about your own health and the health of your loved ones, your financial situation or job, or loss of support services you rely on. Changes in sleep or eating patterns, difficulty sleeping or concentrating, a worsening of our chronic health problems, worsening of mental health conditions, and we're seeing an increased use of tobacco or alcohol or other substances to help cope with the stress related to the COVID-19 pandemic. I know myself, I always have fear and worry about my health, and my sleep has definitely suffered as a result of COVID-19. So again, the figures are missing here, but so the social distancing recommendations right now, I think we're all pretty familiar with physical distancing, so keeping at least 6 feet apart from others in both indoor and outdoor spaces, limiting contact when running errands, avoiding crowds and keeping distances at social events and social gatherings, stay distance while being active, and wearing face coverings. And so I think you can see by this list here how it would impact our overall health and well-being, because it impacts things like the social aspects of well-being in community and things like that. So we know that from previous research, we know that social isolation can increase risk of heart disease, depression, dementia, and death. And in 2015, an analysis of the scientific literature showed that long-term social isolation increased the risk of mortality by 29%. And we also see a weight gain due to unhealthy eating and physical activity. So we kind of joke about gaining the COVID-19. So what are the nutritional recommendations during COVID-19? So this is from the American Psychological Association. Get enough sleep. Try to eat a healthy diet with getting your 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. Exercise in your home or at a physical distance outside when you're capable of doing so. Try to avoid excess use of alcohol or drugs as a way of coping with stress. And if needed, consider telehealth options for psychotherapy. There are also several nutrition recommendations, and these come from the World Health Organization. So we know that proper nutrition and hydration are vital for staying healthy. We talked about this earlier, but people who eat a well-balanced diet tend to be healthier with stronger immune system and lower risk of chronic illnesses and infectious diseases. So eating a variety of fresh and unprocessed foods every day will give you the vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein, and antioxidants your body needs. Drink enough water, and I put a star by this one because next week we have an amazing speaker, Dr. Brendan McDermott, who will talk about the importance of hydration. Hold on, if you guys hear something in the background, it's a remote control car. Avoid sugar, fat, and salt to significantly lower your risk of gaining weight, furthering heart disease, stroke, diabetes, or cancers. So how has COVID-19 been impacting people? Well, we know that people may be increasing their cravings for comfort foods due to stress and boredom. And these food cravings are just a desire to consume a specific kind of food. And this may be driven by our emotions. So we get an intense desire to eat, just different behaviors. So we actively seek out the food we want. It could be cognitive. So we're constantly thinking about these foods, or also just physiological processes that are driving us to crave foods we eat. And we know that women tend to have a higher prevalence for food cravings than men. One second, William, not in the kitchen, please. Buddy. Sorry about that. And we know people tend to crave more carbohydrates. And this is because carbohydrates encourage serotonin production, which has a positive effect on mood. But we know that eating too many simple carbohydrates like processed grains can lead to weight gain. Sorry, I had muted myself. So I don't know why the picture isn't showing on the screen because it shows on my slides, but this is just showing a complex interaction of foods and pathways and how they impact well-being. And then this recommendation comes from the American Society for Nutrition. And it basically talks about when you do go buy foods, try to buy healthy foods that will minimize your trips to the grocery store. And these are things like bread, dried grains, sturdy fruits, or like dried, frozen, or canned fruits, vegetables, sauces, soups and broths, beans, etc. So this will limit the interactions we have with other people. So the take-home messages today really are about eating a selection of food. Or actually, I'm missing. Okay, here we go. So really, when we talk about foods for improved well-being, we know that sleep disturbances can increase stress and food intake. So consuming foods that contain or promote the synthesis of serotonin, melatonin at dinner. So these foods would be like root vegetables or roots, leaves, fruits, seeds, or protein foods. They have tryptophan, which is a precursor of serotonin, which helps us sleep. And also consuming foods that boost immune function. So fruits and vegetables with a lot of micronutrients and antioxidants that boost immunity. So antioxidants are components of fruits and vegetables that give them the color or the skin color. And they know that these antioxidants, or those are anthocyanins, but they create antioxidants. And these increase the number of T cells, and T cells are immune cells. So you can get beta carotene from orange or green leafy vegetables, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D, and zinc. So you can see by eating a healthy diet with a variety of foods can help boost immune function. So really our take-home messages are to eat a selection of foods that meet your daily nutritional needs, because this can help improve your overall health and well-being. So, and just to summarize, this includes eating regularly, drinking enough water, looking after your gut health, manage your caffeine intake, eat at least 5 servings of fruits and veggies a day, get enough lean proteins, eat the right fats. So this was going to be discussed in the video, but they know that eating healthy fats also helps mood and well-being, especially with cognitive function. And don't forget, I added an 8th one, physical activity. So I'm happy to stop sharing my screen and answer any questions you all may have about sort of diet, health, and well-being. Does anyone have any questions? No? I think, it's clear that the take-home message is fruits and vegetables. And I think it's hard because a lot of us who may enjoy eating foods with family or big group, we're losing that social connection, which provides part of this happiness and wellness associated with eating occasions. So, does drinking a V8 give as much benefit as fresh or frozen foods is one of the questions. So I would say probably not. I think V8 may have a lot of sodium in it, and also it's missing some of the fibers, and the processing may make it lose some of the antioxidants. And I think it's been shown, that fruits and vegetable juices are not as healthy as eating the whole fruit or vegetable. And then if your sodium, what should you eat if you have low sodium? I'm not sure, because most fruits and vegetables are going to be naturally low in sodium. But I guess, there's always canned vegetables. I think they are high in sodium. But I think it's really the point, I think, is like some of the overly processed foods are what can make people not feel as well versus the whole foods. And it's really, I think when we talk about immune function and health, it's really those compounds that give the fruits and vegetables their color that have these immune properties. So I think, as social distancing continues, paying attention to diet may be just one way to help boost mood or feelings of well-being. And I see that Angela posted the pre-assessment link. So anyone who's new to DFEND, it would be great to take our pre-assessment, and at the end we'll do a post-assessment, and we can give you your pre and post data. And I know some people had asked about getting their data from the first survey. And if you really want it, you can email Dr. Howie directly. Maybe Angela, you can put her email address in the chat. And she'd be happy to send it to you, but we ask if possible to wait until the end, even though I know because we can do this pre and post assessment to see if the education really helped some of the decisions. But if you do even want to go back and take the pre-assessment or look at the questions, you can probably figure out that there are a lot of questions related to well-being, mental health, cognitive function, things like that. I'm sorry for this. Maybe you can't hear it as bad as I can with the remote control, but we did have a long talk before this started about remote controls in the kitchen. And whew, he thinks it's funny because he knows he's not listening. You can come to
drop Dr. Howie's email into the chat if you are looking for those results, but as it states, you will receive it regardless at the end or the conclusion of the entire DFEND series. And so that was also put in our newsletter this week, which went out yesterday. So if you did not receive that, or if you would like to receive that weekly, be sure to add yourself to our newsletter listserv, and you can do that through our website right at the top when you go to it.
And this is William. He just turned 6. I haven't had a call complete this week without him making an appearance. So say hi, everyone.
Hi.
You have to look at the camera. That's the circle there. So, how's your well-being, William?
Good.
William is a fruit and vegetable avoider. So that's one challenge, I think, during this is getting kids to eat a healthy diet. Yeah, so I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm hoping that maybe have someone who's a little more versed in sort of health and well-being and mental health be added to the schedule at a later date. So yeah, I guess we're finishing a little early today. Sorry for all the technical glitches, but I guess that's after being away for 2 weeks. Have to figure out what happened there. But we'll make sure we get everything posted. And we are posting just the PowerPoints, right, Angela?
Yep, so when you go to our website, there is a Nutrition 2.0 tab, as well as a Physical Activity or Exercise 2.0 tab and the Zoom Slides 2.0. And I say 2.0 because those are all going to be the slides from this series. You can still access everything from our 1.0 series, but if you're looking to catch up on any of the talks over the previous weeks, that's where you'll be able to find those. And so usually by the end of Friday latest, our Zoom recordings are added to our YouTube channel, and the slides and fast facts are uploaded to our website. And then the link to our YouTube channel and our website also goes out weekly in the newsletter, like I mentioned, so you can always access it or be reminded of what is coming or what you may have missed there as well.
So we appreciate everyone's time, and we hope to see you for Dr. McDermott's talk. Angela just posted the registration link. He gives a really great, enthusiastic presentation on hydration. And you can notice he and Dr. Howie work in the same department, so people who work with physical activity always give vivacious and energetic presentations. So he's really enjoyable to watch, so I encourage you and to call in. And Angela's planning on making a couple videos on ways to make flavored waters and more interesting ways to stay hydrated. So again,
and those will be found on our YouTube channel when they are posted. But if you don't think drinking water is exciting, tune in next week. He'll find a way to tell you it's exciting.
So thanks everyone for your time and your patience with my technical errors and my remote control car loving son. And I hope to see you all next week. Take care. Thank you.